bringing you your favorite new MCs. It's Dormville.
This is start of something real. Y'all about to see what Smitty really cooking in the Ville. No good stone or shit. We just trying to count a meal. Toying with these women. I'm just in it for the thrills. Pull up to the crib, homie got the vacuum seal. Claiming this the hottest shit.
Backstage Phantom.
And today we're sitting down with rapper Castor. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. What's up with y'all? What's up?
Yo, Castor, we found you on Twitter. Oh, we was just like scrolling through and saw your shit, and it was hella dope. The first,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, the first question that we have though is, as a white rapper, since rap is predominantly in the African American community, do you feel like you have to work harder than the average rapper?
I wouldn't necessarily put it like that. I think that whenever you step into this realm or this industry, it's a huge wake-up call, regardless of your skin color, regardless of anything like that. You're still going to have to put in the work and grind. And so at a disadvantage, I think the only people that it would put me at a disadvantage with are the ones around me that have really known me growing up. And it seems to me you tend to get a little bit more hate from those closer to you than you necessarily would from somebody that's outside of the circle that doesn't really know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So would you say that you have more like your childhood friends? Those people are the people that are like, nah, bro, you sure you want to do this? You sure you don't want to go to school? Or you sure you don't want to, go get a job at wherever?
Well, I'll say this. I have a pretty small circle, and the people that I put myself around are the ones that have always supported since, this idea came into my mind at 12 years old, 13 years old. And the rest of the people from the outside are just acquaintances. I grew up playing baseball, and coming from Tennessee, being that kid playing baseball, growing up in a suburban town, that's more so what probably put me at a disadvantage, because everybody's all for sports. Always, I decided to just say fuck it, and I'm not going to school no more. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. We're doing this music, and we're gonna make it happen. So shock, I would say, in a initial, what the fuck is over time, especially in my hometown. There has been shown, I would say, but I would say it more so comes from the people that are around you, that maybe not every single day they know of you and know who you are and know your background. Those are the ones that are gonna doubt you more often, I think.
Oh, do you how did your family feel like you dropping out to pursue a career in rap?
Actually, my pops, he told me that I had a better chance of being struck by lightning than making it with my music. And just hearing shit like that coming from your own dad, who's always been there and supported you whenever you were playing sports, because it's something that was looked at with higher value in society. Right. And I feel like, whenever he said that, I'm the type of person that, I'm going to win regardless. And, whenever he said that to me, it was kind of like, it hurt. But at the same time, it was one of those, what, fuck this. You're not going to tell me. You're not going to set my future for me. And so they weren't really, their approval wasn't there for me dropping out of school, I guess. But my mom slowly over time has, come to the realization that this is what I want to do with my life, and I'm pretty damn good at it. And so she wants to see me successful, obviously, in whatever I do. And I actually have a song, I know y'all checked out the tape, called Swisher Pack.
Yeah.
That I actually made about her. And I sent it to her, and she called me crying, telling me how much she loved it. So I think, and I made that song about 1.5 years ago. And so I think that was, what really brought it all full circle for her. Like, he really has a message, and he's trying to do something here. And, I better support, I should support him instead of trying to keep him from doing what he's trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That was my next question was, you were talking about your dad, but like you talk about your mom a lot in your music, and you brought it back full circle with that. Is there anybody else that you like? I know you're a manager, yo. He works hella hard, bro. Like, out of all the people, like, of all the people we've been talking to, like, trying to network with, he's been really just like on top of it, making sure that we were good with you and everything.
Nah, Andy's a motherfucking G. I swear to God. I gotta tell you the story of how I met him though. There's a town up here in Tennessee called Chattanooga, and I have a bunch of friends and a bunch of people from there that support, you know, the grind, the hustle, the music. And we were down there one time, and I met Andy down there, and I didn't really like, you know, talk to him that much or whatever. Well, whenever I moved back to my hometown, I was still taking classes or whatever, and he had texted me or messaged me on Twitter and was like, "Hey, are you going to Tennessee Tech University?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro." And he goes, "Do you have 9 a.m. biology?" And I was like, "Yeah." But at the time, I was like, you know, I don't know who this dude is. It wasn't resonating that I'd met him before. And I was just like, I don't want to meet this guy right now. It's 9 a.m. I'm trying to go back home, go to sleep. And dude, like, I go to my 3 a.m. or my 3 o'clock in the afternoon class, which was my lab. And he walks in, and I see him and I recognize him. And I'm like, "What's up, dude?" Yada, yada, yada. And we finally put 2 and 2 together, or I do, that he was the one that was messaging me on Twitter. And from that point on, bro, we just took off, and it got to a point where I was just sending him all of my music that wasn't released, and he was fucking with it, putting it on his stories and stuff like that. And it just got to where I was like, you know what, you're one of the few people in my circle that's like 110% behind this music, and is like, I'm gonna take care of you whenever I get to that point in my career that I can. And I was like, if you want to manage me and help get this shit going, like, that'd be dope. And that was probably a year ago, and I have to tell you, it's ran so smooth. Like, he to be able to do that with a homie, instead of like having to go out and find somebody that is looking for you to give them a payment for everything that they do for you.
Right.
I mean, for him to just realize that it's a friendship and it's a brotherhood, and that, you know, whatever I eat, he also eats. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's definitely, he's definitely a god in my book. So yeah.
Yo, you were talking about people in Chattanooga fucking with your music and everything. What's the rap game like in Tennessee? Because, you know, you don't hear about a lot of people like hopping out of Tennessee. It's more like those Californias and the DMV area, Texas, Louisiana.
Yeah. 3 6 Mafia is from Tennessee. That's got Juicy J, and
yeah.
Juicy J is somebody that I really, really grew up on. And I saw him in concert. He actually did a show in my hometown whenever I was in high school, and I was front row watching that. It was wild. Like, he's definitely been one of them that's put on for Tennessee. And I had a management contract last year, so I was based in Nashville for a little while, and I got to work with a guy named CC, who produced for G Unit back whenever they were in their prime and really popping. And so he's really close with Young Buck, and Young Buck's done a lot for Nashville and specifically, but just for Tennessee rap, I think him and Juicy J together are really the two legends that you're going to think of whenever you think of Tennessee rap. But I will have to say, like, I got a homie that I live with. His name's Trey Stoner, and he's got a lot of talent, and he's definitely starting his own wave. He's got a lot of auto-tune going on, which is completely different from what I tend to stay in as far as my type of music or whatever. But he's definitely got something coming, and he's holding down Nashville. And then you got Isaiah Rashad from Chattanooga.
Yeah, he was a double XL freshman, like 2014, 15 or something.
No, he was, and he actually, I'm sure y'all know he signed to TDE.
Yeah.
Which is dope as fuck, because, you know, Kendrick's a god too. So you sit and see somebody from your own state all the way across the country getting signed by TDE, and you're like, damn, that shit's hype as hell. And whenever I went to school down in Chattanooga, and whenever I go down there, you know, a lot of people down there know who I am and really, really fuck with the music. But that Isaiah Rashad vibe that you get whenever you listen to him, you can tell that it came straight from Chattanooga. Like, he just fits it so well and really brings that out. And honestly, if you're from Chattanooga, you're repping Isaiah Rashad 110%. But I mean, just as far as the whole entire, I guess, scale of rap music in Tennessee, I feel like it's very, very slept on. I feel like we've got a lot of talent here, and the world's going to figure that out pretty soon. I feel like you're starting to see it. We've got we've got Starlitto from Nashville.
Yo, yeah.
I don't know if y'all know who
Yeah,
that is, but
him and Kevin Gates, him and Don Tripp work a lot together with like the Step Bros
oh yeah,
mixtapes and that.
them Step Brothers mixtapes are something special. I swear he's cold. I mean we it's just we've got the talent here in Tennessee. I just feel like that a lot of times it's just overlooked for whatever reason. We do have country music that runs Nashville, so I feel like that we got the Grand Ole Opry and the Ryman Auditorium and the CMA Fest that comes here and stuff like this and or stuff like that, and it's just like it. I guess the rap music just gets overshadowed by the country scene a lot, and it fucks up the rap music. But we're coming, I promise you, it's coming.
Yeah, like all the people that you name, like Starlitto and all of them, and Isaiah Rashad, like those are all like, I don't want to say they're heavy hitters, but they're people that have a presence in rap right now. But you were talking
absolutely,
about
their foot's in the door for sure.
You were talking about your homie Trey, and y'all just dropped a song. What, yesterday?
Yeah, called Neon Light.
Right, we just listened to it. We were like, oh shit! Like it was just like kind of one of those like, oh, let's make sure we got all our bases covered. We're like, oh shit, yo, you dropped a new song. Like what?
Yeah. Nah, it was good timing for this interview because that's a song that me and Trey have been holding on to for a while. He just dropped an album at the end of August. I think it was August 31st, and called Smile. It's on SoundCloud. I definitely recommend that you guys go check that out. But he dropped that, and I was just kind of waiting for him to do that because he had some moves that he was going to make, and I felt just strategically it was a good move on my part to wait till he got that out and then drop this song. We also have an EP coming in probably December. Probably drop it as a little early Christmas present. It's about 4 or 5 songs, and I mean he's a hard worker. He's taught himself everything that he does. He mixes his own music and shit, and he's taught himself all that, and he's an inspiration for sure. We definitely go head to head sometimes, but as far as the music, we both have a very mutual respect there, and we want nothing but to see each other blow up and do it together. So it's pretty cool.
And with the new EP coming out, can you like explain to us in detail your process when it comes to making music in general?
Yeah, so right now I'm still in the learning stages of the mixing and mastering and making my own beats and stuff like that. And so usually whenever I sit down, I'll hit up a couple producers or whatever and talk to them and just be like, yo, y'all got any beats y'all want to send me and let me hop on? Most of the time I can just go to my email and stuff and just be like, yo, this sounds good, let's see what we can do on it. But I usually sit down, listen to some music. I love J. Cole, so I'll sit and listen to J. Cole and just try to, brainstorm about, what's going on. How do I put these feelings that I've been feeling the past couple of days into words, into writing, and be able to, express that to where the world can relate to it. And so I usually sit down, do that, smoke a blunt or two, smoke a couple G's with the homegirls, and then and then I just get to it, start writing. And sometimes, you go through those phases where it's just like you hit writer's block. And so you just got to sit there and freestyle for a little bit and just kind of get, in a sense, the blood flowing. And so sometimes I'll freestyle the shit. Sometimes I'll write it down, write the whole song. But I used to be the type of person where I would sit down and I would write a whole entire song in just like one sitting. But it's gotten to the more that I've studied the game and the more that I just want to grow my craft instead of just staying complacent and content, I'll write a verse and then I might wait a couple days and come back to it. I'll say I've got like 1,000 notes on my phone that's just like, some of them are unfinished songs, some of them are finished, they're all separated or whatever, but I've got so many songs that are just in the vault that I just got to go back and finish. You know what I'm saying? So it's a process, and it takes patience from my end, because it's frustrating knowing that I have all of this talent and all of this just fire ass music that's sitting and waiting, but I can't put it out yet because I want everything to be perfect. So it's a process, and like I said, that Neon Light song that was released on Friday, it's been done for probably 4 or 5 months, and it's just been, we just wanted to make sure it was the perfect timing, it was the perfect, you know, mix on it, that there wasn't anything we could do better. And obviously I'm happy with how it turned out, but yeah, I mean, there's a process. That's usually what I go through. So
Yo, and you were talking about you write stories and whatnot, and like we listen to your music obviously, and so it's like every time we listen to a song, it's not like, oh, you know, party, bitches, drugs, money. Like it's not like the same repetitive flow. It's always like this song is about this song is about that. Like, how do you feel about, you know, the average rapper that's on the radio is rapping about the same thing as the next guy?
I'm gonna tell you, I feel like I'm better than anybody that I hear on the radio, and I feel like that the way that I try to approach a song is like, when you get a platform, the one thing that I did carry from my dad is that any person that you come into contact with, you have to leave a good impression on them, because you never know what they're going through. You never know, you know, what could happen to them or could happen to you, and you don't want that to be the last thing that they remember.
Right.
And I feel like that I took that and kind of ran with it and made it to where, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna make a good impression without them even asking. And I want my platform to be something that's like, when you listen to me, you feel enlightened and you feel like you gain some intelligence, or you feel like you get help with something that's going on in your life. And are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know, something happened to the screen. But no, back to what I was saying is just like, I hear these rappers today and it's just like the Lil Pumps and even a little bit of what Kanye is getting into talking about now, and just, you know, some stuff like that. It's just like, there's so much more going on in this world that needs to be addressed than the fact that you fucking a bunch of hoes and doing a bunch of drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo,
and so to me, I feel.
Who do you think that who do you think would be, like, you know, like you have J. Cole and Kendrick that are, you know, gonna lead that lead the wave, but like who else do you think would lead the renaissance to like rap that actually talks about like social issues and just anything that's not just like a party scene type deal?
I mean, me. I think I think that that's what I'm trying to bring to the table, and I say that laughing, but I mean, I stay up all night thinking about this shit and the fact that I want to do that. I've got, the whole entire circle that I really put myself around. We all have our songs, of course, that are turn up party songs, but everybody in my group, you know, we want to be able to be the renaissance. We want to start the evolution that brings us back to what real hip hop and rap is. And so for me to really believe it's anybody else outside of J. Cole and Kendrick who are already doing that, you know, it's just kind of foolish. You know, like, I think that we're going to be the next phase for rap. And I think that J. Cole and Kendrick have been, you know, good role models for how we should carry ourselves in the industry, and how we should go about getting our message across. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, I mean, yeah, definitely us. I had somebody tweet at me the other day that said, Mac Miller had to pass away for Castor to take the torch. And, you know, that was just, to hear somebody say that, like, I grew up on Mac Miller. Like, I'm sure y'all did too. Mac Miller was just the GOAT when I was in high school. And so whenever he died, it was one of those things where, like, I was devastated, I was hurt, and it was just, you know, I was very upset about it, because I've based my entire persona and the way I carry myself, the way that, you know, I dress myself, a lot of those influences came from Mac Miller. And for somebody to say something like that, that's not in my circle, that's just homie of a homie, it's like, okay, I'm really starting to make an impact. Like, people are really starting to see, you know, he's going out here and he's doing something. And to me, you can't get a better compliment than to be a white rapper and have somebody say that you're the next Mac Miller. Because anybody can say you're the next Eminem, but for somebody to know Mac Miller is, like, he's got content too, and he's going bar for bar with anybody in the industry. And, you know, that stuff like that helps reassure me that, like, what we're doing, we're the next space of rap music, and hopefully the whole music industry, if I got anything to say about it. But, you know, yeah.
In terms of message, are there any topics that you'd like to tackle in the future with your music?
I think really that I guess what I'm trying to do on my platform the most is I just see, like, whenever I was growing up, the one person that I felt like I could relate to the most was Eminem. And he has a lyric in Sing for the Moment where he says, "We sing for these kids who don't have a thing except for a dream and a fucking rap magazine." And whenever I heard him say that, it was like, in a sense of materialistic things, I have everything that I could ask for. I have two great parents. I have two great parents. I have a little brother, that I love. Grew up playing baseball, able to do whatever we wanted to do. And one second, it's some music interview. Yeah. But I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Are there any topics you'd like to tackle in the future?
Oh yeah. My bad. No, like whenever I was talking about Eminem right there in that lyric, it was just whenever he said that, as far as the physical things in my life, I have all of that. I have two good parents. I grew up with a little bit of money, but as far as feeling like what you want to do with your life is acceptable in society, that was the one thing that I feel like wasn't getting across, and that, was kind of being shunned. And people coming from a middle-class family and coming from, the situation that I came from, it's kind of, they can't really relate to somebody in this industry the same exact way that somebody coming from a worse situation could. And so I just kind of want to be the guy that lets yo, I'm from the middle class, and I have what most people would say a pretty easy life. But at the end of the day, like, I don't feel accepted for what I do with this life. And I want to show you that one of these days people will accept it, and that, you can do anything that you put your mind to. And, I want to get that point across, the most. But at the same time, like, as far as politics and shit like that, I ain't really trying to get into all of that with the Donald Trump stuff, because I know that it's all a joke. And I know that he don't need to be the fucking president. And I know that Hillary didn't need to be the fucking president either. If anything, we just need Obama back in office. I mean, go ahead and run it back. But, it's just, yeah. I see a bunch of shit going on with, the racial tensions and stuff like that. And, I personally call three of my best friends in the world are Black. And so for me, color has never been a problem. And I don't understand why we can't just all get along and just, I don't understand what the fucking problem is. So it's just stuff like that. I don't necessarily want to get into, because I feel like it's a lot of gimmicks. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like at some point in my career, I'll have to address stuff like that, and I will have to address those issues going on with our country and with the world. But, my main thing is I want people to realize that you control everything that happens in your life. As far as like each move that you make, it's either a step in the right direction or a step in the wrong direction. Right. And so for you to sit and complain about, the politics being the reason why, you can't do this or can't do that, I can tell you that there's people like Ben Carson, who came from a terrible situation. He's a politician, was in the Republican race in the last in the last race or whatever, but he in the last election, but he came from a very, very poor situation. And for him to be able to get into the standings that he was in and be able to be a well-known politician and be in the presidential race, like, he didn't take no for an answer. And, you've got people that are in the rap game. You've got athletes that are in sports that they never took no for an answer and came from worse situations than any of us can probably imagine. And so it's like, I just want people to really realize that whatever it is that you want in your life, there's nobody that's stopping you besides you. And as brutal as that can sound, it's just like, if you don't want it bad enough, you're not going to get it. But if you do want it bad enough and you're willing to put in the time and effort and the work and skip the meals and do shit like that, then what you're setting out for, it's going to come to fruition. So that's the main message for sure.
Yo, what's the end goal? Like, is it like, okay, I want to reach this amount of people, or I want to reach this amount of stardom, or I want to open up my own label, or I want to get signed to major labels, or what's the end goal for you?
So I have this brand that I'm really trying to push, which is called Suburban Youth, and I wanted to kind of become the next big thing in general. I don't really, the music for me is my heart and soul, but at the same time, it is my foot into the door to be able to do all of this other stuff, because like Andy loves doing clothes, wants to really start off a clothing line. And so whenever Suburban Youth takes off and Castor takes off, Suburban Youth clothing will take off. And then I want to be able to sign other artists and help make their dreams come true the same way I know mine will. And so I'll have that side of it. And I want my hands in so many different fires that it's probably unhealthy, but I definitely like, I don't care too much about the stardom. I don't care too much about the money. I mean, that's all materialistic, and it's not going to bring me happiness. Yes, it can help contribute to happiness and make me be able to smile more because I'll be able to do whatever the fuck I want. But at the end of the day, money is not going to buy you a healthy relationship. Money is not going to buy you, you know, the love from my parents, especially, because to them, like, they've seen, you know, some success with this music, and it's still one of those things that's like, it's just hard for them to wrap their mind around. And so I've realized, just based off examples like that, you know, I just want to be able to be a good person and be able to be somebody that you're going to look up to, especially as a rapper, somebody that's going through a hard time. Like that at the end of the day is the end goal. But at the same time, like, I plan on trying to take over the world and doing that from the music side, and doing that from everything that I just stated. But I'll say I'm completely fine with, you know, the 1,000 fan capacity venues, I guess, where you're not selling out, you know, an arena or something like that.
Yeah.
But you still got that group, that fan base that's just like, I fuck with you and I fuck with you heavy. It's like Russ. I know him. I saw him back probably 3 years ago in Nashville, and he had about 100 people at his shows. And now he's, you know, selling out 10,000 plus venues, and it's like, that's dope as fuck. But at the same time, like, the connection that he's able to have with his fans that, you know, are on him before he blows up, that's the type of connection that I want to be able to, you know, carry through with and be able to hold on to whenever I do end up making it famous and I do end up making it big. I don't want to sell my soul to be in front of 75,000 people, if that makes sense. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to say no to that, you know. But I definitely want to be able to have that connection. I plan on being the type of person that whenever I get on, I do stuff kind of like what Post Malone does. He came to Nashville and did like a little show, and it was at a bar. And, you know, Post Malone, he's one of the biggest names in the world. You're not going to be able to get him to come play at a bar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's going to be playing at these arenas and these sold out venues and festivals and stuff. But he still is in touch with, you know,
locals,
where he came from and the person that he was growing up. And that's something that, you know, I have a lyric, I think it's in Life and Soul, where I say, will I let this money be in vain because I let it take control of Blaine? And it's like, I'm asking myself those questions because I don't want it to be something like that. And I don't believe that it will be something like that. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's not about the money. It's not about anything like that. It's more so about being able to be a good example for everybody else that's trying to come up and trying to do their thing. And I actually got Trey Songz in the room right now. The guy I was telling you about earlier.
Oh yeah.
He in here hauling around, just distracting me a little bit. Yeah, 369 fucking up. But no, back to what you were saying. Yeah, I want to take over the entire industry from all aspects. I want to be able to do the clothing and have my own label and stuff like that under Suburban Youth. But as far as the stardom and stuff like that, I could take that or leave it.
Yeah. So you're saying, like, would you be content? You know, like how like Starlitto and like not Isaiah Rashad, but like Starlitto has that like star quality to where like he can go wherever he wants in America, and like people still have love for him. But like you go to a big concert, and if he goes with Kevin Gates, because him and Gates are really close to each other, they're gonna know who Gates is, but they might not know who he is. But they have like probably like 10 songs together, and they talk about each other and like chat at each other all the time. Like, would you rather be like I guess with the Gates in that situation or the Starlitto?
I would obviously or probably rather be Kevin Gates in that situation. I mean, I know Starlitto just because I'm from Tennessee, and I think Starlitto, is hard. But I mean, in that situation, if I had to choose between, which platform I would rather have, it would definitely be Kevin.
Okay.
So. Would you chill the fuck out? I'm in the middle of an interview. Okay. All right. All right. Anyways, what's up, guys? I'm sorry about
You're
that.
Good. Huh? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
No worries.
What you said the EP's coming in December. Do you have any like solo stuff? Because I know Insomniac dropped earlier this year. So are you gonna try to do like a album a year or more of like 2 albums or like an album EP type deal? Like, what's the workload look like?
Well, the plan for right now is I just dropped Neon Lights yesterday, and well, it made it on Spotify yesterday, but I dropped it the day before on Apple Music and everything else. So I dropped that one, and the goal is I plan on getting back in the studio next couple weeks, and I've got about 14, 15 songs that I'm working on that are ready to be recorded and ready to just be laid down, mixed, and put out. Don't think that I'll release them all as a tape. It'll probably be more so I'll release them as singles with some videos attached.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll definitely have to be throwing in a couple singles, probably 4 or 5 before that EP comes out at Christmas, and then I just plan on in 2019 probably work on another mixtape. I really don't like calling Insomniac an album. I think it's more of a mixtape, just because I've listened to J. Cole and people like that. That's who I grew up on and got my inspiration from. And in every one of their albums, there's a basis, a theme, and they're telling a story. Right. And I want to be able to do that with my albums and just let the mixtapes be what people have to listen to. And once I get on and once I have the ability to just sit down and focus on my story that I'm trying to tell, that'll definitely be when my albums start coming. So I would say probably a mixtape, 2 or 3 mixtapes a year is the goal. But as far as albums, I'm kind of waiting on albums for a little while, because I just want to make sure that that story is being told and that the right amount of people and the right people are able to listen to it, if that makes sense.
All right, yo, that's all the questions that we have for you so far, or for right now. Yo, we really appreciate you coming through, man. Like, everything that you said was hella insightful. Sure. It wasn't that just generic bullshit that people spit, and I'm just kind of like,
yeah, for sure.
Yo, do you have anything that you want to plug, like your Instagram, Snapchat?
Oh yeah, for sure. So like y'all said earlier, I've got my album that came out in July. It's on all platforms. It's called Insomniac by Castor. And I will have to say that's Castor with an O, not an E. So don't get that confused. I saw that y'all had that confused. I'm just saying I don't want nobody else getting that confused. Castor with an O, and that's on all platforms. Neon Lights is on all platforms. And then my Twitter handle is Castor, and then my Instagram handle is Castor Music. And then you can find me on SoundCloud under Castor Music. I don't have anything updated on there. I might have to get back on that and put some music out there for you guys. But yeah, just everybody go fucking follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you want to see somebody living it up and making some hella bomb ass music, because I'm coming with a message and these people need to hear it for sure.
Yo.
So
that we appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for coming.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Yo, thanks for watching this week's episode, you guys. It means a lot to all of us. Go check out our artist. Castor is hella dope. Go make sure that you follow him on all his social media platforms. Follow us on all of our social media platforms just to keep up with us. We really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, share, comment. Drop that in every chat that you're in. Group chat, family chat, church chat, whatever chat, you know. Love, peace, hair grease. We out ya.